Yes, it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker this morning. It's Maria Szabo from the World Organization for Animal Health, or OIE. She's had a long list of jobs and activities that she's done. She is a vet that graduated from the University of Budapest in Hungary. She worked in the public sector for almost 15 years at the Directorate of Veterinary Medicines in Hungary. She was seconded during that time to work in London for the European Medicines Agency. And over the last 5 years, she's worked for the OIE. And one of the jobs has been the Secretariat for Registration of Diagnostic Kits. So it's a pleasure to introduce her to talk about the OIE's activities on antiparasitic resistance. So with that, I'll pass over. Thank you very much.
So very good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for this nice introduction. And I would like, first of all, thanks to the organizers to invite OIE for this very important meeting. And I am very pleased to be giving this presentation on behalf of the OIE Electronic Expert Group on antiparasiticals. There are main part of my presentation. The first is a feedback from the OIE focal point training seminar. The second is a concept note to create an electronic expert group on antiparasitic resistance. And the third is the objective of the group to create a document on prudent and responsible use of antiparasitic resistance. And the fourth is a survey which we conducted recently in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. But before that, I would like to talk about the OIE, which is an intergovernmental organization, and the main mandate is to improve animal health and welfare worldwide. And that was founded in 1924. And the OIE kept the acronym, the original name, so that's the Office International des Epizooties, so that's we are OIE, not World Animal Health Organization, anonym kept. And that is very important that we have 182 member countries, and each member countries has a delegate who is legally responsible to participate in the work and represent the countries. And that's all delegates are supported by 8 fields for national focal point, including veterinary product. And we are working for 19 partner organizations, and we have 263 reference laboratories. And also we have a very strong network with our regional offices. The headquarters is in Paris. So now I would like to speak about the feedback as we received from the OIE focal point training seminar for veterinary product, because that is related to the work of the antiparasitics works. So in 2015, that was my first mission in Uganda, when we presented the different guidelines and standards to the focal point, to the attendees. And one focal point question that why we do not have OIE standard and guideline, prudent and responsible use for antiparasitics. And that was a broad agreement among the attendees that yes, we need to work on this subject. So we repeated also for the seminar for Asia in Tokyo in 2016, and for Europe, for the whole Europe, not just for the European Union, for the whole Europe in Budapest, and the Middle East in Beirut in 2016 and 2017. And as the result, we decided we go further, so included the subject, the challenges of antiparasitic drugs and resistance for the next cycle, in order to seek the view on this topic and interactive panel discussion. This panel discussion built upon two very simple pivotal questions. The first, do we need the OIE standards and guidelines on prudent and responsible use for antiparasitics? And the second, is that relevant for the five region global the world? And that was all training seminar expressed deep-rooted desires on interest to work together to tackle antiparasitic resistance, including English-speaking Africa in 2017, in Asia 2018, also in Europe, also in French-speaking Africa, and for the Americas region in Mexico. The meeting in Mexico, it was concluded that urgent action is needed, led by the OIE. On this slide, you can see the main challenges which come from altogether from the world in a short summary. There are still challenges to overcome. There is resistance to many antiparasitics, especially trypanoside, ascaris, and anthelmintics, and lack of effective drugs. And secondly, because there are many generic products that have been used more than 15 years and no enough new quality drugs available. I'm very pleased that Dr. Barbara Cyrus is also among us from the European Medicine Agency, and hopefully tomorrow she would also can give you more information about a current tendency in the European Medicine Agency concerning this aspect, because Europe is usually in advance on that subject. But as we also face that there are poor quality products on the market, probably this is not a surprise for you that there are on the market substandard and falsified products, and not just in Africa, but also in Asia and also in Latin America as well. And the consequences, there are products with subtherapeutic doses and low concentration of active ingredient. Also, that is a well-known problem everywhere now in the world, that are also antiparasitic residue in the environment, especially with ivermectin, but also there are residue in the food due to the inappropriate withdrawal period. I'm also very happy that industry people also are participating in this meeting, and with the collaboration with national competent authority, this situation can be improved in the future. But as we faced in many member countries, that there is a lack of legislation of authorizing veterinary medicines, and also in Africa, there are a poor enforcement of appropriate authorization of veterinary medicines. So after this 4th and 5th cycle seminar, I try to make a summary and prepare the concept note, indicating that the feedback from the OIE members, they wanted that the OIE work on prudent and responsible use for antiparasitics. And this concept note was endorsed by the Director General in 2019. An electronic group was set up with the geographical balance. That means that all regions presented. And the members have been chosen from the 5th cycle seminar, who knows very well also the framework, or a little bit, or the OIE, and also the great expert on their field. We also invited the European Medicine Agency to work as the observer. And again, I'm very happy that Barbara tomorrow will present also their view on that, and can comment this presentation if she would like to do that. So the main objective of the group, as a first step, to prepare a document on responsible and prudent use for anthelmintics, which is limited for food-producing animals, and the publication is expected this summer, the next year, 2021. Because it's obvious for us that is very important because of economical reason, because there is a big threat on animal health and also for food production and food security. So in order to feed this document, a survey was conducted in order to obtain information worldwide, in order to respond globally to these challenges. So the first survey is conducted in Asia, and we discussed it in Kuala Lumpur in January 2020 in a lively interactive discussion. That was Professor Nick Sangster who participated and led this discussion, a great expert from Australia. And after, due to the COVID, we conducted a questionnaire in Africa in June and July, and we wrote an article with Professor Bati from Senegal, from the Dakar University, and Professor Patrick Woodrico from Uganda. Both of them, they are representing the French-speaking and the English-speaking Africa with the joint African view. Now we are on the way of publishing another article in the OIE Bulletin concerning the result from the Middle East. So if you are interested in, there is a link that you can read in detail our result. And if you would have any obstacle to join, just send an email to the organizers, and I will assist. I'm happy to assist to subscribe for this OIE news, and you can read, or also I can send it to the organizer, the article, and also for the next article concerning the Middle East region. We just had a 3 days meeting seminar for the focal point. That was the reason why yesterday I was not able to participate, and we also included to discuss and show the result for our focal point in the Middle East. So this questionnaire, as I said, that was developed by the electronic working group and focus on anti-helmintic resistance. Our aim is to extend, but we would like to go step by step. And this questionnaire now is focused on to capture what are the most economically important animal species, to have information on anti-helmintic resistance status, the use of diagnostics, also availability of information on anti-helmintic resistance. Very important, rating the country regulatory environment for anti-helmintics to see the quality of anti-helmintics, and also to identify what are the biggest knowledge gaps in the country. On this slide is just a summary to make it clear about the aspect of the questionnaire. It's, as I mentioned before, I am not repeating that. But the result was very obvious for us, for the Asia, French-speaking Africa, English-speaking Africa, Middle East, the most important species are cattle, and for English-speaking Africa, plus goats, and for Middle East, cattle and goats and sheep. And the biggest knowledge gap is the diagnosis of resistance. In Africa, our colleagues indicated that is linked to the lack of resources, funding laboratory staff, but also interest for among researchers in this area. It's quite simple in the Middle East as well. So to conclude my presentation, more information and research is needed based on the identified gaps. Also, we need to awareness on antiparasitic resistance. We need to develop a guideline and standard, prudent and responsible use of antiparasiticals. More capacity for diagnosis is needed. And we need to collaborate, and underline collaborate, just to repeat that, for different stakeholders. And that's also why I'm very happy and pleased and privileged to participate in this meeting. But also I would like to acknowledge the work, the electronic expert group on antiparasiticals for the colleagues, and also for the OIE focal points, basically worldwide, who are participating in this project, and also the regional colleagues who are facilitated to have response and working together. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any question if you might have, if I am able to that. If not, I will also pass to our group, because I am not the expert. I am working as a secretariat for this group. So thank you very much again for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Szabo, for your interesting keynote presentation. We do have some questions in the Mentimeter forum. First question I would like to ask is, who are the participants at these regional OIE seminars? Do most of those participants have a government background, or is it farmers or veterinarians, or is it a mixture?
Thank you very much. That is a very good question. I thought that I would include a slide to explain a little bit, because this structure is very special. As I mentioned, that there is a delegate who is normally the chief veterinary officer, who is represent one country in the OIE. And the focal point for the veterinary product, it's sometimes working for the ministry, sometimes somebody who is working for the basically the government, for a national competent authority, but the majority, they are vet. And their main role, main job is to support the chief veterinary officer related to the veterinary medicinal veterinary product, which included pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and diagnostics. And they have different background. They are working different organizations, and that's also in our project in terms of the falsified and substandard product, to find out also the background for the communication of this focal point for which governmental organization are working for. I don't know, is that answer to your question?
It's difficult. I think so. It's difficult to judge by me because I didn't ask the question. I just read it to you. But I guess it is. And if it's not, I assume that the people who ask questions in Mentimeter will get a response afterwards. So that's, as Johannes already explained in the beginning, all of you that ask questions in Mentimeter, thanks a lot for asking these questions. But we know that we cannot answer all of them right now, but we will try to do that after the meeting. I have another question here that got several votes, is what should be done so only one document on best practices or prudent use of antiparasitics would be promoted worldwide, because nowadays there are so many.
Yes, just go back to the first question, because that came up from yesterday from the Middle East. So one delegate addressed that based on the network, we need to improve also the channel to have the more precise, more accurate answer to any questionnaire. And this is also the question of the communication of the focal point and the relevant organization and university. So I think it was a very important addition. So the added value for the best practice guide to use anthelmintics, what would be the added value? That is your question?
No, the question was rather, I'll go back to the question, yes, just to make sure I got it right. What could be done to produce a single guideline or document on best practices in using antiparasitics worldwide, rather than having several of them like we seem to do now?
Well, that's actually our aim to produce worldwide a document on prudent and responsible use for antiparasiticals, including anthelmintics. Because basically this type of document is, if it will be done, that will be adopted by 182 member countries. That means it should apply for 182 member countries. That is the case for antibiotics. And now everybody is talking about antimicrobial resistance. So we don't like to wake up too late. We would like to start to work now in order to respond to this challenge. So we are not planning to produce this type of document. We would like to address it worldwide in a frame of antiparasiticals.
Okay, thank you. I'll given the time frame, I will end with the last questions, and the other questions we will keep for feedback after the Combar meeting. A question that many people tagged as interesting was, how can Combar contribute in developing the guidelines, given that most people that, well, at least in Europe, that are involved in research on anthelmintic resistance are part of Combar, and also some people from outside Europe are tightly related to Combar, for example, through the Livestock Helminth Research Alliance, LIRA, which is a worldwide organization which is tightly linked with Combar. So how do you think we could contribute to the OIE guidelines?
That was my question to myself as well when I prepared myself for this presentation. So that one I would propose to my hierarchy to invite one representative to our electronic expert group and involve in the next step. Before the publication, if it's possible, if not after, but it is not my decision, but I would like to propose to invite a representative from the whole group to our electronic expert group. And personally, I would really appreciate this input, because you are a specialist on that field.
Okay, thank you for your clear answer. Maybe a quick final question. I can see we're still 2 minutes running in front of the schedule. What can be the role of the industry when it comes to slow down resistance development, in your opinion?
Well, actually, also in terms of industry, in the beginning, I worked for the AMR working group, and we had a representative from industry. At the moment, it's not that case. I would also propose to involve industry this type of work as well, one representative via the House for Animals to participate in the work, because it is a joint work, and the responsibility of the industry to actually have development for new drugs, to produce a good quality, assured, safe and efficient drugs. That would be a very simple answer to you. But also as a stakeholder, I think it will be a very, very relevant role for the industry representative in this group as well.